This is the Xiaomi 13, a €1,000 flagship phone that is designed to compete toe-to-toe with the likes of Samsung or Apple. I've used the device for quite some time now, and while I like it for many reasons, I wanted to share all the pros and cons with you so you can decide if this phone is right for you. The 6.36 inches display defines the size of the phone. While the Xiaomi 13 cannot be called a compact phone, it is narrower and smaller than most of the mainstream phones we're used to. For the size comparison, the 13 is just a tad taller than the iPhone 14 Pro despite having a larger display, and it is very similar in terms of width. Here is what the Xiaomi 13 looks like next to the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which is obviously a lot bigger and less convenient to carry. The 13 is one of those devices that I can manage in one hand, and it doesn't take up too much space in the pocket. I took it with me on the trip to Barcelona, and it was very convenient to carry it around and take pictures with this Leica branded camera system that I'll talk about in just a bit. The build quality is excellent. We have a metal frame which unfortunately attracts fingerprints and smudges quickly due to its glossy finish. The phone has the official IP68 certification for water and dust resistance, so you can use it in all weather conditions. I tested it in the rain and snow a lot of times, and the device still works as new. The design of the phone is nice and clean, even though we've seen quite a few similar looking devices. Either way, I like the way the phone looks and feels in the hand, like a premium flagship device. The display quality is top-notch. It is vibrant and a tack-sharp flagship-grade screen. This 120Hz Full HD Plus E6 AMOLED panel can also reach a peak brightness of 1900 nits, meaning that you'll be able to see it even on the sunniest days. I had no problem seeing it under direct sunlight while I was in sunny and beautiful Barcelona playing with pigeons. The only flaw that I could mention, the display is covered with a pretty old Gorilla Glass, whereas the latest flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra already have the Victus 2 glass. We have a really good sounding dual speaker system with Dolby Atmos support, a dual SIM card tray, an IR blaster, and a very fast and accurate fingerprint reader that is implemented under the display. The device has a 32-megapixels selfie snapper, but the star of the show is a triple Leica branded camera system with a 50-megapixels shooter at the core, a 10-megapixels telephoto lens that provides 3.2x optical zoom, and a 12-megapixels ultra-wide camera. Besides other features, the camera app allows you to choose from a few looks: Leica Vibrant and Leica Authentic. I personally prefer the Vibrant look as it has a better dynamic range and contrast, but the Authentic look can be also useful in certain situations. It really depends on the shot and your personal preference. The wide-angle camera is decent, but it simply can't compete with the main lens, especially when it comes to sharpness and detail. The main shooter produces one of the best-looking photos that in most situations can easily compete with the likes of Samsung and Apple. I'm confident to take this phone with me on a trip as the main camera to capture my memories. To be fair, the best-looking pictures are taken using a 50-megapixels mode. They are incredibly sharp and detailed. I love the colors, contrast, the dynamic range, and so on. Excellent quality photos. I also like 2 and 3.2x zoom images. The quality may not always be consistent, but you can definitely take some sharp-looking pictures. The portrait lens has a 75mm focal length. You can choose from a standard mode, black and white, 50, 75, and a 90mm focal lengths that combine hardware and software for a different look and bokeh effect. I like these creative options, and you can definitely take some very nice looking portraits. For instance, I love a soft lens effect so it doesn't show every pore of my skin. Obviously, you can take very sharp looking portraits if you wish so. I'm really impressed with the front-facing camera. These are one of the sharpest and the most detailed selfies I've seen on a phone, no matter if you use an auto or a portrait mode. Very good quality. The night mode is available on all camera lenses, but as usual, the main shooter produces the best quality shots. The pictures are detailed, noise levels are kept to a minimum, and in general, low-light image quality is very good. The 8K 24fps video on this phone does not impress. There is simply too much panning stutter and skipped frames. I wish the device had an 8K 30fps video option. That's why I suggest you use the 4K 60fps mode for nice, stable and smooth video. I like the level of detail and the footage looks nice even when shot handheld while walking. The 4K 30fps video also looks very good, and the good old 1080p 30fps footage quality is very good too. The 1080p 30fps is the maximum resolution and frame rate for the selfie video. While a lot of phones have 4K video on the front-facing cameras, I really like the overall quality. The Xiaomi 13 is not all about the cameras. It is powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, and my unit has 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. As you would expect from top-tier hardware components, the overall performance is excellent. From day-to-day tasks to gaming, the Xiaomi 13 feels fast and responsive all the time. Well, the phone gets a little bit warm under intense load, but that never impairs the performance. The device runs on the MIUI 14 that is built on top of Android 13, and we have all the usual features and customization options Xiaomi phones have been known for years. The built-in 4500 mAh battery will easily get you through the day, and if you use the device mostly for the basic stuff, expect to charge it once in 1.5 days or even once in 2 days. Charging time is just about 38 minutes with a supplied 67 watts fast charger. The only gripe is that the phone is not using Xiaomi's faster 120 watts charging standard. There is also a 50 watts wireless and a 10 watts reverse wireless charging. Overall, the Xiaomi 13 is a great flagship phone with almost no compromises that could be the deal breaker. Well, I wish it used the latest Gorilla Glass Victus 2 instead of the regular Glass 5. 8K 24fps video is uninspiring, and it would have been nice to have 120 watts charging speed instead of quote-unquote just 67 watts. Lastly, the front-facing camera's video resolution tops at 1080p 30fps. So these are the flaws, but there is so much that the Xiaomi 13 has to offer. Just to name a few: nice and clean design, excellent build quality, IP68 certification, impressive cameras, top-notch overall performance, great battery life with fast charging, and the display that is one of the best in class. To sum up, the Xiaomi 13 is not cheap as it is priced at around 1000 euros in the EU, but it is a solid, all-around, relatively compact Android flagship, despite a few shortcomings. What do you think about the Xiaomi 13? Would you buy this device or would you choose another option? As always, like the video if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, it was Linus, thank you for watching and see you soon.